Yes, Mr.
May I make the following remarks to you respectfully. I associate myself fully with the able submissions of my learned friend, Senior Counsel for and my learned friend, Mr. Willis Ochieng. My Lord, what is an issue here is that use of power, conspiratorial power, investigatory power. And my Lord, this is not the first time we're coming before the court. Because of abuses lost by those in power, executive, investigation, and prosecution at all. It is a Christian hymn that you have been singing for the past 60 years. If you may permit me, Your Honor, to mention to you respectfully, what has happened to Wanjigi is precisely what happened to his father. His father. His great father is my neighbor. And I recall one day, I woke up very early in the morning because I was required to go to court in the court of appeal. And my late dear wife knocked at the door of the bathroom. She said, "Look, you better rush to Wanjigi's home." The general police have invaded the home. I rushed there, half naked. I had on a towel tied around my waist. They were harassing the family for upholding the rule of law, for upholding human rights. Your Honor, the background of these charges before you, as my learned friends have carefully pointed out here, it's quite clear valid court orders have been obtained. When we were in the police station yesterday, in the office of investigation, we were in a tiny room. Mr. Wanjigi was there, his wife, and his two children. The reason why we are going to that police station had nothing to do with the gang offenses at home. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. It was quite something different. friend Mr. Otieno, Willis Otieno, was able to give the background of the matter. And we convinced the senior officer was investigating the matter. They shook hands that will come another day. Out of nowhere, a senior officer came to forefront, which is the name of the police officer, Son, Mr. Son. He was reluctant even to give his name. That's why much Milimani came out with a story about guns. It was clearly an afterthought. And it was clear that they were trying to find a way of keeping this Wanjigi in the police cell for a moment. Your Honor, what I observed most objectively and contrary to administration of justice, Mr. Wanjigi was handcuffed in the presence of his little children, in the presence of his wife, clearly trying to demean Mr. Wanjigi as head of the family. And the law is very clear on handcuffing. You only handcuff an individual when you have evidence that he is likely to escape. Mr. Wanjigi himself and his little children and wife had gone to that room voluntarily. And there was no reason or there was no way Mr. Wanjigi would have escaped from the country. Is Mr. Trump full of venom, full of malice, trying to demonstrate that has got the power and authority to do anything he can under the criminal constitution. Handcuffed in the presence of his little children. Your Honor, this is not what we fought for. We are going back to primitivity in administration of criminal justice in this country. The 2010 Constitution was to establish an environment under which we do things in a civilized manner, not in a crude, primitive manner at all. You cannot go ahead and handcuff an individual in the presence of his little children, in the presence of his dear wife. What you are doing is wrong, and that must be condemned. In the strongest possible language. Your Honor, may I remind you very respectfully of our 2010 Constitution. We have items in our 2010 Constitution which are dear to the public. privacy. Constitution. The common law which you have established, which is part of the law of this country, common law in England, is part of the law of this country. Established that the court has inherent power, court of justice, to stay proceedings if it is demonstrated that there is abuse of process, which my able and friends have established before you. Your Honor, if you may be kind enough to allow me just to read the report. A stay should be granted where compelling an accused to stand trial would violate those fundamental principles. That is, Your Honor. Is illegalities have been committed. There have been constitutional violations. That is an abuse. That would be ridiculous. May I continue to read, Your Honor? A stay should be granted where compelling an accused to stand trial would Wanjigi lost his dear father a few weeks ago. Let us not pretend to do something else. We are Africans. We have our African customs. We have our own culture, which we respect. A person losing a father, Your Honor, is a great blow to the family. The family is still in mourning the death of a departed senior Wanjigi. Mama has been affected badly in health. The children no longer have someone they can call Papa. In our late 80s, have someone whom she can lean on his shoulder. That's a common sense demand that an African government should take this into account. Before arresting the son and bringing the DPP a proviso that before he can charge an individual, he is at liberty to take other circumstances into account. This country, as I know from my public law review, does not have the law of mandatory prosecution at all.
Just a minute,
we do
Counsel.
not have it.
The Counsel.
This country does not have.
Just a minute.
Sorry, Your Honor. I apologize. Would you rush to court immediately when you still mourning the death of his father? One was given a livelihood, shelter, education, and etc. The father Wanjigi, a respected individual, a man whose home I could freely enter and talk to him without notice. And he could freely enter my home and talk to my home without notice. Serve this country at the highest possible level. Director of Criminal Investigation, Director of Settlement.
Director of?
Of Settlement. At one time, he was the chairman of our Agricultural International Show. A renowned politician, Respected Member of Parliament for Kamkunji, a cabinet minister, respected he dies at the age of 92. Our active media is shaken. Writes very long stories, very long articles on him, paying respectful tribute to the work he has done as a pillar of the Kenyan nation. No single word of condolence to the family from the highest office. You want to be kind enough to write that down. No single word of condolence from the highest office. Just as my wife, when she died, I received no single condolence from the highest office. A poor woman who had worked for the nation very hard. I'm saying these things to demonstrate, Your Honor, that the charges before you are not brought in good faith at all. I'll go further and make this alternative submission to Your Honor. A person who has served the Kenyan nation so ably, so energetically, so honestly, has obeyed the law of the land. His legitimate expectation when he dies is that his own children, his own widow, would be treated fairly, legally, given respect, as he has tried to uphold the rule of law in the country. That has not been done. Your Honor, if I may now continue. Your Honor, may I refer you to page 7, page 6 of that, just a small position again. I'll read. A stay typically takes the form of an order that an indictment remain on the file with the instruction that it not be proceeded with. A stay is not technically an acquittal, although for all practical purposes it may have the same effect. The revival of a state prosecution without the leave of the court is likely itself to be considered an abuse of process and to be stayed accordingly. Your Honor, the reason why I'm reading this to you, again respectfully, is to show you that you have the power and authority to reject these charges. On the other hand, you have the power and authority to order a stay. And that will be the end of the matter. This matter will not be revived by anybody at all. Finally, Your Honor, I would refer you to another important aspect, and against an individual as in accordance with the Constitution. Your Honor, what I'm saying, human dignity in this particular matter of here. The title of it sums up what I would like to say to you. When I wrote a letter, I'll give you a copy. Don't wish to take too much of your time. I've seen that your court is a lot of work, but I would like you to go through it. Your ruling in this matter. We have forces in the country. Those forces had been found in the executive arm of the government. And some second-rate politicians. Who would like to water down the 2010 Constitution. They are not happy with it. Can only be upheld and continue to be in existence faithfully and firmly if the courts of law remain firm. Boldly firm. The case of Wanjigi success. What has he has gone through is a test case. That we either go back to the old administration when President Moi was in power, when we were harassed, thrown into detentions, we had extrajudicial killings, and etc. Or you sitting there as a judicial officer, you stand firm so that the executive does not take you for granted. They do not assume that they will come before you with any charge and you will uphold that charge. And you will call upon someone to plead on it or not to plead on it. You will say to them, no. Given this background, I'm throwing out these charges. Given this background, I'm making an order for a stay. Your Honor, if you show any weakness that you will allow anything that the prosecution brings before you, Your Honor, you're destroying the Kenyan community. And the posterity in the Kenyan nation will blame you. We are where we are at the moment because of this 2010 constitution. We fought for it. People were killed for it. People were detained for it. People were sent to prison for fake charges for it. Rise to the occasion and uphold this constitution by saying that the charges against Wanjigi are hereby stayed. Or alternative, the charges hereby against the charges hereby against Wanjigi are thrown out into the dustbin. They are clever in a sense that is objectionable. By hearing a voice of a lady, don't shoot me, don't shoot me, don't shoot me. The law of proportionality in arresting individuals. The law of proportionality in carrying out had been abused. You sent 40 askaris to the home that has been aggrieved that he has lost his father, his head of the family, to look into something ridiculous. That concludes what happens in a banana republic. You have to sort out everybody to carry out searches when you know there's nothing there and you come up with nothing. Ridiculous. Dishonesty. No wonder that I heard the voice of Wanjigi saying that you have carried out a search here before and you found nothing. And you're going to carry another search, you'll find nothing. Your Honor, may I say all these things are happening to Wanjigi, if you may pardon me, because of our own witness in the judicial system. Let the judicial system speak the way George Daniel spoke. Let the judicial system speak. Courage is called for. And you have been given opportunity to demonstrate that we who are associated with and the bench will exhibit courage and throw out these fake charges. Do not uphold them. If you do so, Your Honor, you will be